Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer action. This time another community cast, this from Reptile King. So we had Dutch Skink last time, and Reptile King this time with the proper reptiles. You can see here, Lizardmen on the field. We've got Cold One Riders, Bastiladon Solar Engine, Red Crested Skinks, a couple of Saurus Warriors with shields, make that 4. Front line of some Javs as well. We've got a couple of Fire Leech Bolas. Let's see, Fire Leech Bolas. Solar Engine, it must be a Fire Slan build. Excellent. I love Fire Slan builds. I really don't see the Fire Slan used often enough in my opinion. We've got Fireball here, Cascading Fire Cloak, Burning Head, and Flame Storm. So, of course, the critical thing here, the synergistic thing, if you will, is that Kindle Flame. I talk about this all the time for various factions, but for the Lizardmen, what that means is the Solar Engine will do more damage, and the Fire Leech Bolas will as well. So yeah, no Salamanders, but generally Salamanders are pretty tough against the Skaven. We are up against the Skaven here for Reptile King. He's going to be up against Lord Skrulk here. We've got one Jezzail, a couple of Poison Wind Globadiers. No, just one Globadier. Interesting. One Warpfire team. So nice mixed weapon teams there. Got some Slave Spears, Clan Rats with shields, Storm Vermin with halberds, including the Council Guard. Some Clan Rat Spears out of the side. One Sword and Board Vermin in the center there. And yeah, you can see that Reptile King has conceded the hill for the time being. He's allowing those Jezzails just to kind of fire free. But of course, there is a plan. You can see the Solar Engine getting into a position to fire. And those Fire Leech Bolas are probably going to swing up and around the hill and try and stay, you know, kind of out at the max range of those Jezzails as much as possible. But yeah, we're going to fast forward a little bit as a massive fireball comes through and just rips through the side of those Jezzails. Hits Lord Skrulk as well, so an excellent fireball from the Fire Skink the Fire Slan down on the low ground there. You can see the Solar Engines also moving into a position to support. Right now, it looks like Shield of the Old One's being used there. Does not look like the Jezzails are shooting in, but just in case they do, want to be able to protect the Slan, obviously. Legion of Chakwa will also help with that. And yeah, the Jezzails right now are just kind of picking at those Pterodon Riders, which is a good target. They've already picked off maybe a couple of models. No, both. Looks like just the 10 models there. So yeah, very interesting stuff. As for Skrulk, man, he is going to take another fireball to the face, probably. Oh, yeah, it does clip him in the back there. And again, takes out quite a few of those Jezzails. So although the Skaven may appear to have a ranged advantage here, they are actually taking substantial damage, and the fact that these Jezzails are not trying to, say, like, shoot the Solar Engine or something, I mean, granted, the Fire Leech Bolas are definitely a pretty big risk, but you can see here, oh man, they're going to come into a position and start throwing those Bolas. I believe the Bolas also got a buff in one of the recent patches. I don't remember exactly when, but I want to say they do more missile damage now than they used to. And obviously with that Kindle Flame, if the Slan throws a spell out there, they will do even more, right? So, pretty good stuff so far. Skaven being forced out of position here, and if we take kind of an overarching look, you can see those Jezzails just about routed off. Oh yeah, just about missed out those Rat Ogres as well. Heavy force Rat Ogres there. And now the Solar Engine going to turn its attention to some other weapon teams. So pretty decent stuff so far. You can see the Slave Spears there taking the majority of those Javelins, which is just fine. The Clan Rats can then move in and start to trade reasonably well. Clan Rats will actually trade pretty well against the Cohort Javs there, so good stuff. In the back line, though, these weapon teams are having a hard time. Using the Globadiers against flying units, in my opinion, is almost useless. Like, they have a really, really hard time hitting flying units. The one weapon team that's going to get some work done here, though, is this Warpfire team on station to help support this frontline engagement. Rat Ogres moving over to the side here, and these Cold One Knights are going to get charged by them. That being said, though, with the Fire Slan having Cascading Fire Cloak, he can use that to buff those guys up. Another Fireball goes after Lord Skrulk, and again, that increases the damage for all of these fire units here. And yeah, these Cold One Riders holding up just fine so far. There's the Cascading Fire Cloak, putting them up to 53 melee defense and 57 total weapon strength. Man, Cascading Fire Cloak's such a good spell for the Lizardmen Cavalry. You can see over here on this side the Skink Cohort doing well. Red Crest, especially out on the flanks there, matched up against Clan Rats, is decent for them. Looks like they're not doing amazing, but they will be able to cut through them over time there. A nice Plague Breath, doesn't honestly do much damage at all, but well placed at the very least. But yeah, Fire Leech Bola is going to come forward now. Skrulk himself is in a bit of a pickle. He's just going to just going to get continuously fireballed here, which is rough. And you can see Reptile King not over-blobbing here, and this is something that a lot of players will end up doing, is just throwing these Saurus in just because. There's really no reason to blob them in here right now. Might as well just keep them back, keep them fresh. You can see, like, these Storm Vermin, they're active. They're going to start to get more and more tired. Yeah, see these Clan Rats out on the flanks already tired from fighting through Skinks, so that will make quite a bit of difference. A nice banishment there, and going to be followed up by a beautiful Burning Head from the Slann, just roasting through a line of rats here, helping those Red Crests be able to win that engagement. Also got a Cold-Blooded there to help hold up their leadership, so very good stuff so far. Let's see, the Slann's up to 64 kills, decent stuff, but a brutal volley of the Warpfire coming in here, doing a ton of damage to these Saurus. Saurus, of course, only 60 armor, is a bit, but it's not really enough to help against these Warpfire throwers. So, oh, are they going to get another volley? Looks like they may actually get charged before they get another volley off. A handful of them do get some hits in there, but yeah, they're going to need to pull back and let those Clan Rats and other units kind of take the field there. The Globadiers are now in a position to start firing at the Slann. They are going to do some damage here. You can see if they maybe had more of their models or were a little bit closer and able to get, you know, all of their attacks in, they could actually do some pretty consistent damage to that Slann, but unfortunately there's only a few of them left, having already taken a bunch of losses, and they get rocks dropped on them. They're getting Fire Leech bullets tossed at them, but oh man, speaking of fire, how about fight fire with fire? The hot Mountain Dew being sprayed up in the air there to burn those poor Pterodon riders. So things, honestly, all things considered, pretty even. Skrulk, though, is going to be the target at this point. Obviously, if Reptile King can finish off the Skaven's leadership, then that will be very important. Actually, looks like maybe going after the Warpfire team instead, which is probably a pretty smart idea. They can do a lot of anti-infantry damage here, and because, unfortunately, those, although those Colon Riders did hold up very well against those Rat Ogres over on the far side, they did end up getting chased off there, so a little bit rough. I mean, granted, they traded very cost-effectively, but yeah, the Warpfire Thrower's still continuing to fire here, but the Solar Engine's going to continue to rip them to pieces. Fire Leech Bull is also coming in now as well, so will be tough. They are holding their leadership for the time being, and the really tough thing is these Storm Vermin, right? The Storm Vermin are going to just continue to slug it out in the front line. As long as Skrulk's alive, he can continue to throw summons too, so, I mean, Skaven are never really down and out until their summons are gone. And the Jezzails are also back from out. We've also got a couple of Rat Ogres coming back as well. Looks like some more Skaven Slave Spears also, so definitely not out of the woodwork yet. Still a very close battle after 8 minutes here. But yeah, Jezzail's now starting to focus on the Slann. You can see the Legion of Chocolates there. Does put him up to a significant amount of missile resistance. 84% missile resistance. Quite impressive there. And yeah, the Banishment is going to be thrown here as well. Do a ton of damage to those Clan Rats. And oh man, it staggers Skrulk and doesn't allow him to dodge these shots, which may be critical. Ooh, he just barely dodges that one, but he is hanging on by a thread here. Just about 600, a little over 600 HP left. So we'll see. We'll see. The Skaven are pushing at this point. They still got plenty of numbers. Globe's going to come in here, and even as tattered as they are, they get some good damage on that Solar Engine. But the Solar Engine does manage to rout off Lord Skrulk, even though it didn't actually hit him. There, it did get a hit on him, and I don't think that Lord Skrulk's going to be able to survive this. We'll see. That being said, the Fire Slann's a little bit mixed up in here with the Council Guard, helping support the Legion of Chokwa. So some Regiment of Renowned Spear units here. I guess one of them's technically a halberd, but you know what I mean. Anti-large Regiments of Renown fighting out here in the pits with the support of the Slann. That Shield of the Old Ones, of course, will definitely help. The Legion of Chokwa definitely has way better melee defense. Well, I guess not really. 50 melee defense for the Council Guard, but both of them have relatively low melee attack, so they will take quite some time to kill each other. But these other Storm Vermin here are getting terrified away by the Bastiladon. Good old Solar Engine used up all of its ammo, 102 kills, an XP Chevron, and just continuing to fight there. Those Clan Rat Spears here getting into those Saurus Warriors also, so pretty good stuff. If we kind of take an overarching look in the battle, you can see Skinks being used to chase routing Skaven is actually really nice because the Skinks actually do have enough speed to chase with them. Normally chasing Skaven infantry with your own infantry is not the best idea because they'll just outrun you and you'll get out of position, but the Skinks, of course, are fast enough to keep up, so very good stuff there. Despite all that, though, Reptile King's starting to fall a little bit behind on the balance of power as there are a number of units still to grind through here. And the Fire Slan will continue to attempt to grind. I don't know how much Winds of Magic he has left, but potentially a Flame Storm in this late game kind of blob situation could be super, super devastating. We'll see. It looks like instead he's choosing to continue to throw that Cascading Fire Cloak on that Legion of Chakwa. Giving them the additional armor piercing will help a bit. They don't have the best armor piercing, but the melee defense certainly will allow them to just continue to outtrade these guys through sheer attrition. That being said, there's a lot of Skaven units coming back from route. That skink that was chasing got captured by a Warp Fire Thrower team and burned. So yeah, it's going to be tough. We'll see. There are still some Saurus fighting here, of course, alongside Legion of Chakwa. Quite a few Lizardmen units, actually. And yeah, the Council Guard are sort of surrounded on all sides here. And you can see how they're force pathing through. This is actually a big mistake. They really should just stand and fight. But by force pathing through like this, they're going to not be doing attack animations and just continuously, you know, get surrounded and not really be effective in this combat here. So you can see these Clan Rat Spears try and come back and help, but they're probably going to get terrified away pretty quickly by that Bastillodon there. And Shield of the Old Ones, again, helping to mitigate some of that damage. So we'll see. The Council Guard are still holding out reasonably well, but you can see them taking consistent chunks of damage there from those various high weapon strength Saurus units. So it's still anyone's game, though, honestly. With the Warp Fire Thrower coming back from route, this could be huge, getting a big volley into the back of these Saurus here, but I'm not really sure. It looks like now they get the volley. How devastating will it be? Oh, man, it cuts through quite a few of those Saurus there, and probably going to rout off that unit on the edge. It's tough to say, but here comes good old Gary the Bastillodon on a secret mission to take out the nasty, nasty Warp Fire Throwers. Gary says, no, fire comes from the sun, not from gross radioactive soda. And thus the Terror Route procs, terrifying away a bunch of these units. That's going to put the balance power back towards even a little bit here, and the Rat Ogres and other units will just continue to grind on. But yeah, again, Saurus, because of their high weapon strength, they will be able to continue to fight here. Yeah, just not looking great for these Skaven at this point. The Rat Ogres are going to get ground down, and although the Council Guard, of course, unbreakable, will fight to the death, they still are probably going to get ground down here. So, the Rat Ogres are doing okay for the time being. Certainly tough to say, and in these kind of pitched late-game situations like this, a lot of it can come down to the RNG dice rolls, like attack versus defense, or even armor dice rolls sometimes. But yeah, the Rat Ogres getting routed off there is definitely a big, big loss. You can see the Storm Vermin with Halberds getting tail slapped by Gary here. And are we going to get a rear charge on them to proc a Terror Route? Maybe not, but at the very least, they will continue to take that consistent anti-infantry AP there. And because of the leadership issues, of course, that Terror going to be very, very key. But yeah, as the Flaming Slan starts to take more damage and Legion of Chakwa continue to get ground down here by just superior numbers, credit to the Council Guard. I mean, obviously they're unbreakable, but they have managed to survive that very unfavorable situation until this point in the battle. So things are suddenly not looking too great for the Lizardmen. The balance of power has, for the first time, turned pretty well against them. So we'll see. Maybe the Fire Slan still has like a big burning head left in this late game if he could get a big Terror Route to terrify away a lot of these units. But yeah, you can see once this Terror kicks in, it gets pretty contagious here, and a lot of these other units start to get easily terrified by the Bastillodon. And yeah, that's going to be it. The balance power turns all of a sudden just like that with all those units routing, and the Council Guard will be ground down. So very well played to both players. Hope you guys enjoyed watching that one. I mean, yeah, always fun to see the Lizardmen win. And also the Fire Slan, like I said, I do think he's pretty underutilized. This is one matchup where, although I think he's pretty risky, like if you face mass Jezzails, you're probably going to be in trouble. But I don't know, at the same time though, just counter-firing with Fireball and like the 2 Solar Engines and the Fire Leech Bullets and stuff, you maybe could outtrade the Skaven at range, but definitely a very, very fun build and replay from Reptile King, so big thanks for sending that one in. I love the fire synergy here on this army, and it definitely worked out pretty well. 159 kills on that Solar Engine. And one issue with Solar Engines is that they don't do the most missile damage in the world compared to other artillery types, so using that Kindle Flame on them actually can help them perform that much a little bit better. 97 kills for the Fire Slan himself, excellent. Red Crest did a great job, of course. You would expect a lot of kill totals against the Skaven, but how about the Skink Cohort? 134 with that volley of javelins there, but again, that was just against some cheap Skaven slaves, so how worth it was it really? Who can say? Legion of Chakwa, though, are definitely MVPs here, helping to hold out in the late game, helping to mitigate a lot of that missile fire on the Slan, so I definitely think that they are pretty much an auto pick always in this matchup. Yeah, for the Skaven side, it ended up being a little bit rough. I think he maybe invested a little bit too much in these Clan Rat spears with shields. I mean, granted, they did trade well with the Skinks in the front line, they traded well with the Saurus in the front line, but I think maybe just cutting shields from one or all of them, you could upgrade these Jezzails to the Natty Bubo sharpshooters so that they're not visible when they're firing, and then Reptile King, if he wants to shoot them with the solar engine, he has to stay close with something, you know what I mean? So I definitely think Natty Bubos are pretty much always better off than the regular Jezzails, but Warpfire throwers, how about that? 132 kills and an XP Chevrons. They definitely got some great work done. These Rat Ogres as well, 108 kills. I must have gotten into like some Red Crest or something out on that flank there, but even though those Cold Wind Riders died pretty horribly, only got 5 kills, they were able to hold up those Rat Ogres for quite some time, which in and of itself can be decisive, right? So yeah, thanks again to Reptile King. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.